What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block for November 7th, 2017. We are recording before the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Direct, so we will be discussing that later this week. But just to get out of the way, just throw it out there. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, that delicious milk chocolate treat, Edward Varnell.
Open your eyes.
Zelda.
Hi, everybody.
I knew.
Yes.
Dude, Zelda. Oh, Zelda's so good.
Did you get my message yesterday? Did you read it?
Dude, here's the thing. I fell asleep so hard yesterday that I woke up at 6 o'clock to pee, and I was like, dang it. Kind of like you do sometimes when you just, dang it. So, let's see. You bought Zelda, right? The buy one get one 40% off at Toys R Us.
No, it was 20% off.
Oh, there it is. Found it.
Yeah,
Found it. Nice.
yeah. Our buy one get one 40% excluded Switch games.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, because it was that Friday and Saturday, and Switch games got excluded from it.
Oh, okay.
But that's why, and we'll probably when we get into what we've been playing, I'll talk about what I brought. Because, yeah, literally, I think ever since Payday last week, I brought 9 games.
Oh, jeez. Nice.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
yeah. Because before we get to what we've been playing, yeah, Wolfenstein 2 I brought, Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mario Odyssey, Battle Chasers Nightmare for Xbox One, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, plus 2.5, Return to Arkham, Ever Oasis, Hey Pikmin, and then Breath of the Wild. So that's 9. Got Need for Speed, that last one that came out, that was like $20, and then picked up Knack 2 also.
Nice.
So like 11 games, and then of course Fire Emblem Warriors.
Nice.
But yeah.
Nice.
So
You play any of those games yet?
besides Odyssey and Wolfenstein 2, I installed stuff but haven't played them. On top of buying Metal Gear Solid 5, on top of buying like I said, Fire Emblem Warrior, I'm like, I need to stop. I'm spending too much money. I think I spent like $300 or $400 some dollars on games like already. I'm like, I need to stop. My whole check is like literally gone. But I do get paid Friday, so that's Doom, and then that's the $180 for Xenoblade 2 and the controller. I need to pay this off.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, the Pokemon 2DS, which is $159.
Nice.
So
Nice.
actually, I might wait for Xenoblade. I don't know, just might pay it off, like pay it in parts, and then when Black Friday comes, just go and pay it off like that.
Nice. I can't wait for Xenoblade, dude. I cannot wait.
Yes.
Wait, dude. I just want a big kind of like meaty RPG kind of thing, and I don't know, man. Just really wanting something to dive into and just really get into it. But
yeah. So what I've been playing, I played a little bit of Wolfenstein 2, Gears of War 4, Halo 5, Mario Odyssey, Yolo and the Celestial Elephant. I'm going to be popping in Assassin's Creed Origins a little bit later. And I really need to pop in Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. I know a lot of people been playing it, and I'm like, I need to rebeat this game. Like, I already beat the original version, but this international version, I'm like, I need to beat. And Dragon Quest 8, of course, I've been playing. And then nothing else. I mean, that's pretty much all I've been playing. But I'm in my mode now to be like, you know what? If I start a game, I need to finish it. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I've been doing this year. I've been trying to play more of less this year, and like it's been hard with Switch, and I'm getting a lot of the Switch games that are coming out. But like,
yeah,
I mean, I've 100%ed 4 games this year, which is like not just beaten, but like 100%ed 4 games this year, and it's like it's been a while since I've done that, like gone that deep and 100%ed stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that progress. But I mean, for me, it's still just Mario. I'm waiting for Doom on Friday. Trying to hold out. I had a good talk with Chris Har yesterday about Assassin's Creed Origins, and like the more I see and the more I hear about that game, I really want to play it. Like I really, really do want to play it. I haven't.
Yeah, I heard people say like if you want a longer RPG experience, Assassin's Creed Origins the one to play, and I was just like, "Are you sure?"
Like, yeah, well, like I keep hearing this isn't like you shouldn't be going in expecting Assassin's Creed. You should be going in expecting an action RPG that's going to take you 60 to 80 hours to beat. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. So.
But then that worries me because in a sense that when I look at it, I'm like, this is just a Tom Clancy game, but thrown in an Assassin's Creed world and painted in Egypt. Like that's what I get from this game.
Well, I think we've talked so ill of EA lately, but like
yeah,
I think Ubisoft is pretty successful at doing what EA wants to do, which is like, okay, a lot of these games are built in the Snowdrop engine, so we can move systems in and out of these different games without affecting the gameplay, right? Where like, okay, right. Assassin's Creed has the bird, which is essentially the drone from Ghost Recon, and shooting mechanics from Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon and The Division are kind of all interchangeable. Yeah, Rainbow Six is a first-person shooter as opposed to third-person like the other two, but the systems of the shooting are still the same, and like moving assets in between the games and stuff is I think Ubisoft does a better job of that than most people.
Agree. I agree.
They do. Plus, they do a good job of like camouflaging the assets so you don't recognize one asset from this game is also in another game. Particularly the Tom Clancy games, Splinter Cell, even too, like character models, buildings, helicopters, drones, that kind of stuff, because military stuff's pretty interchangeable like that. So, and like they're just moving the systems from, probably like what excites me about Assassin's Creed and what I've seen about it gets me excited. Like this is a little walk, but come with me, it's gonna be okay. Mm-hmm. What I see of Assassin's Creed in terms of like the gear, the loot, the mechanics of like shooting the bow and arrow, that kind of stuff, makes me excited for a Division sequel.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Because like the way like the loot drops and the way you're able to see what you have and the abilities it has and how it affects your upgrade stuff and like the upgrade trees, like that kind of stuff makes me excited for the Division sequel. And I really hope like they talk to this Assassin's Creed team and are like, okay, this is, obviously the Divisions are big games as service. I don't want to call it an RPG because it's not really an RPG, but it's like an action RPG, whatever. How do you use these systems over here as opposed to like, and how can we translate it to this military type shooter? So that's kind of got, I want to see if that actually translates to the Division, because me and my friend Mitch were actually talking about the Division today and how like as flawed as that game is, it's still kind of fun to mess around in it with your friends, even more so than like Destiny is, just because the gameplay in that game is a lot more varied than Destiny almost. Just because like you have the different factions, and each faction has different like, you know, people within the faction that do different things, and you know, sometimes they're interchangeable, sometimes they're not. Where, you know, like Destiny, you're just kind of like, oh, aliens, shoot them in the face kind of thing. But yeah, that's kind of what the game I'm most excited to play. And like I said earlier, my birthday's kind of coming up, and different holidays and stuff. So like, I'm trying not to buy games because my lists are kind of out there for people who have asked me to give them lists of things that I would like to have.
Yeah,
so
I've been yelled at. So
and like, so I know my parents are getting me Assassin's Creed and Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
For my birthday, which is like 2.5 weeks from now, and I'm like, oh, I just want to play Assassin's Creed really bad, and like.
I think I'm gonna wait till you start it for me to start.
Okay, and we could have like a decent Arsenal X chat about it then.
Yes.
Too. So Mario's pretty much all I've been playing. I played a little bit more South Park. I haven't been in the right mindset to play that game, because as much as I love South Park, that kind of game is kind of, you need to be in the right mindset to sit down for just a couple hours and just really kind of dive into it and be like, okay. And then from there you make your progress and stuff. But like I said, that's like the perfect Switch game, man. Oh, I'm so mad that game's not on Switch. Anyways, Mario, still cranking away at that. I don't really have anything new to say about Mario, except for like the one kingdom that I'm at now. I'm at the final, well, kind of almost. I'm almost to the final Bowser encounter. But people are still buying it. People are still playing it. The kingdom I'm at now, where I'm getting ready to fight Bowser, is so different from the rest of the game. And I just have this really weird feeling that I'm just like, you're probably not going to come back here, because there's really not that much to do here. So,
but a lot of people say that's kind of one of the best parts of Odyssey, is the last two parts or final part of Odyssey being with Bowser. I'm like that. To me personally, that is supposed to be the thing, because Mario kind of has had like good final boss fights. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, you don't want to go out on like a weak boss fight for a Mario game.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to try to finish that today. I don't know if I am going to try to get all the moons yet. I still don't know, man. I know I'm going to play it after I beat it. I'm going to try to do as much as I can. And then, like, once these other games start coming out, I'm going to see if I'm enjoying those as much. And, like, this game's just not grabbing me the way Zelda did. And which is okay. It's fine. Like, I think Mario Odyssey is a fantastic game. It's just not grabbing me like Zelda did.
I can see that. I can understand that. I think the reason why it grabbed me, because it's a Mario game, and I've always been a big person in platformers, whether 2D or 3D. So, and you know, it's. I know we both can say that it is a system seller. It should be a system seller along with Zelda. Like, this game is attached to the Switch, which is good. And Zelda, as much as we talk about it, I still feel like, and I agree with you, that it is just game of the year, because people are still finding stuff, people are still posting about it, people are still talking about it. Hey, I bought another copy I got one for Switch and for Wii U now. It, like I said earlier, past shows, that I'm like, it changed the genre, and it made people feel like climate is important in the game, needed. Like, when does a simple mechanic make you feel like you want it now in every game, and done on that level of The Legend of Zelda? Like, that's, you don't see stuff like that talked about. Nintendo had a lot to prove with Breath of the Wild, and they proved it. They beyond proved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot wait for this DLC for Zelda. It's oh man, just to get back in that world, and I really want to get back to the Master Trials, which I think is what I'm going to do before Xenoblade comes out. Just going to jump back into Zelda and play the Master Trials and finally try to wrap that up.
It's gonna so suck for me because I can't jump into it. Not because I don't own the DLC. It's because like when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon drop, I'm like, okay, now I gotta be at these two games, and now I gotta work on. I'm like, I gotta try to work on. I still gotta need to beat. Still need to beat Sun and Moon. Like I need to beat some 3DS games. Like. I think I'm with you, Corey, not buying any more games. I think I got everything that I needed besides the Switch games.
Yeah, it's so hard because it hasn't really been that hard because I got my wife's Christmas gift already.
Okay.
So that took some pressure off just because I don't have the money to buy games because I bought that instead, but yeah, it's been kind of tough. It's crazy, it's rough. It's rough seeing all these games come out and being like, I want to play so we can have a discussion, but I have to wait.
Right.
Which I know makes kind of like a kind of not like a boring podcast, but like, okay, we're not really up to date on things, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I think Neo is the only one that I need to get for any kind of discussion. But other than that, I'm just like I think I got stuff. Well, besides Need for Speed Payback, I think that's the only one. No one's worried about Call of Duty or Battlefield 1. And I guess people are going to get Battlefront 2. I don't know. That's fine.
I don't know if I'm going to get a shooter this holiday. It's between. See, a lot of my friends got Call of Duty, and they're like, hey, do you want to get it? And you can play with us. I'm like, yeah, but I don't really care about Call of Duty. But at the same time, I don't care about Battlefront 2 either. Like, I barely played the first one, and all I really want to do is play the campaign of the second one.
Right. And I think Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Oh, I was just going to say, I can just Redbox it when it comes, and I'll just sit down for 2 nights and play through it, because they say it's 6 to 7 hours, which means it's really like 4 to 5 hours, especially if you drop it down on the easiest difficulty. So,
right.
Which is all I really care about. I just want to see what the story is and all that stuff. So,
right. And the last, shooter that I'm probably going to get is going to be, it's Doom. I think that's the last one besides Morpheus Law. If that comes out, I'm like, but as for anything else, I'm like, for 2017, besides Switch games and catching up on old backlog Switch games, I'm kind of done getting games for 2017 in a way. And I just now need to play them and beat them. Besides the Frozen, the Horizon DLC and the Lost Legacy for Uncharted. Those are the only 2 that I need to get for PS4 now. Because I'm waiting for Crash Bandicoot to go $20.
Yeah, I don't even care about Crash to even try to bother.
Well, I 100% it both 1 and 2. But I never got a chance to play 3 and get that last 100%. The original trilogy, I never got to finish off. So that's the only reason why I'll get it. But I'm not paying $40 or 50 or whatever the cost is. I'll pay $20 for it or less.
Yeah. So, but I can't wait to play any of these games. I really want to play Wolfenstein. Everybody's saying that game is really good. So let me rephrase that. Everybody's saying that the story is really good.
Yes.
And that the game forces you to play different than something like Call of Duty or whatever other first-person shooters have campaigns. I don't even know. Because I don't even put Halo in the same conversation as Call of Duty because they're so different. So. But a lot of people are just saying that you know, it's an incredible story. Even if you don't want to play like a hardcore shooter, you should just tone it down to the easiest difficulty and just watch the story play out, which I think is what I'm going to do, you know, so.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it on normal, and kind of play the way that it was just intended. Because I'm not trying to 100% or anything. I'm not trying to get all the trophies and everything. I just kind of just want to play it and experience the story because I'm like, it looks good, and it looks better than the first one story wise, and that's what I want to jump into. I want to get. I know Tuesday and Wednesday, like after work, I'm like free, so I think I must be spending most of that time playing that game and getting it out the way.
Yeah. Well, do we want to get into some of these news bits?
Yes. What's up in the news, Corey?
Okay, so there's been several reports coming through, including Nintendo Today, Nintendo Life, all these kind of not like fan sites, but like, you know, Nintendo focused sites. Reports have been coming through that devs who initially passed on Switch are now scrambling to make games. Surprise, like we kind of called that. Nintendo first announced the Switch console. Not everyone was sold. Some were hyped, some took a wait and see approach, and others just plain didn't believe in the concept. According to a report, many Japanese game developers didn't think the console would sell this well and be as popular as it is. Now they're scrambling to make games for the console and cash in on the opportunity. There was also a report coming out that said Capcom thinks the Switch is great for multi-platform games, and they're looking into making exclusive games for the platform. So that's also good news. So, I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? Nintendo is a platform that has always struggled with third-party support, and like we see the Switch come out, everyone's excited, launches with arguably one of the best games of all time. Now the holiday rush, and it's coming out with another one of the greatest games of all time. And in between these games, we have cool games like Splatoon, ARMS, you know, a flood of indie games that, like, you know, multiple reports have come out that said these indie games are selling more on Switch than they have on all other consoles combined. And these devs are surprised that I don't know. It's just like a duh. Like when you have a product that people love, you might want to start putting stuff on it.
Right. Because definitely with Capcom, I'm like, y'all just in trouble. Y'all cannot rely no more on Resident Evil. It doesn't make y'all the money that you thought it made. So y'all got. I'm like, I feel like if Capcom puts a big game out on One or PS4, they're going to be financially in trouble because it just doesn't do the numbers. Now, at least with 3DS and with Switch, they could make a profit off of that. You know, as much as people didn't think about Ultra Street Fighter 2, it made y'all profit.
Yeah, that's another story. I'll just say here, Street Fighter 2, they're expecting big things from Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 because Street Fighter 2 for Switch has sold over 600,000 units and is considered a massive success. So, yeah.
It's so. That's a shame that it sold more than Street Fighter V and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite together.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is not a great looking game. Like it's just not.
No, well, yeah, I can understand that, but you know they were betting huge with this game.
And like for Marvel vs. Capcom in particular, it's like maybe they were like kind of I never want to say game developers are lazy because they're not. It's one of the hardest jobs. But maybe for some of the things they were kind of taking it a little bit easier because it was a Disney IP and they were based kind of like hoping that the name would sell a little bit, so they focused on the combat systems instead of like the art or the story or some of the other things that some people actually play fighting games for. Like I don't care for fighting games, but I love Injustice's story, and I've been wanting to get Injustice 2 for a while. And like I thought Injustice's story was awesome, and that's why I played it. And like a lot of people who are expecting like a Marvel story, especially because Marvel is so big right now, like they want a good story, and like people reading that the story isn't great, the art looks funky, all that kind of stuff. Like I don't know, maybe it's just notes for next time. But I mean, I think a lot more people are still playing Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 instead of Marvel Infinite.
Should we rest of playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on PS4 and Xbox One?
That's true too. So
now I will say this before we move on. Come on, Respawn. I know y'all making a VR game, and that literally is a shame.
EA is not going to give them the money to port the game to Switch.
I'm not even talking about Titanfall 2. I'm talking about, okay, come on, Respawn. It's time for y'all to make a game for Switch.
Isn't Respawn owned by EA?
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to get money for Switch games.
There are other companies that are not going to get money from EA to make a good game.
I don't know.
I mean, how did you get stuck making a VR game? From really making a critically.
Oh, they're not owned by EA. They just own the EA just owns the publishing rights to Titanfall. Okay,
but I thought Respawn was under EA because EA brought them.
EA didn't buy them. They just partnered with them for Titanfall and this Star Wars project. They don't own Respawn at all.
But EA gave them money though.
Yeah, to develop Titanfall. Titanfall is the EA IP now. But EA does not own Respawn. They just own Titanfall, and Respawn is the developer of Titanfall. It's similar to like the last couple Halo games when Bungie left Microsoft but still developed ODST and Reach for Microsoft. It's that situation. Or like Destiny with Activision now, where Bungie's not owned by Activision, but Activision is the publisher of Destiny. So
that's just so weird.
I know. All this stuff is really confusing. I just don't even really care anymore. But yeah, I mean, remember what 6 months ago now we were talking about how it'd be cool if Respawn made a Metroid game, like a Metroid Prime game. So okay, so we're gonna get on to this next story. If you're a European listener, you can now pre-purchase Doom and download it to your Switch. I'm really excited for Doom. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah. I really hope I hope the reviews give it like maybe an 8.5 or a 9. Like I'm not expecting a perfect 10 or anything, but I would love to see like maybe from an 8 to a 9 for that game.
Yeah, I can't wait for Doom. Doom was so good the first time I played it, and just to have it like in my hand and just go wherever I want. Man. Okay, so this next news story is kind of interesting. I was trying to read more into it earlier yesterday, but Microsoft wants to reach gamers on rival systems, says Xbox chief Phil Spencer. Focus is on growing game sales and services. Microsoft is about to launch Xbox One X worldwide, the company's latest play in what has become an increasingly competitive hardware arena. Xbox One has lost out to PS4 in terms of global share, while Nintendo Switch has seemingly carved out a whole new sector of the market. Let's see, where's his
quote?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Excuse me?
This is already happening with Minecraft, a Microsoft-owned property which is available on all systems. However, Minecraft is subtly different because it was a brand with global appeal before Microsoft purchased it. Where is it? Where is this quote? Spencer was promoted in September to the role of executive vice president, which means he now reports directly to chief executive Satya Nadella rather than Windows boss Terry Myerson. Spencer revealed that his new role gives him more latitude to reach gamers on any device rather than using gaming to make Windows more successful. Spencer has acknowledged that the console sales continue to be of utmost importance, but said Microsoft is now more focused on growing game software and services, saying the success is measured by the number of people who use its Xbox Live service rather than its console. In its fiscal first quarter ending in September 30th, Xbox Live clocked up to 53 million monthly active users, which is a rise of 13% from a year earlier. However, overall gaming revenue rose just a single percent to 1.9 billion, as a 40% fall in hardware sales was balanced out by 21% rise in software sales and services. It doesn't look like it says, don't think you'll ever see Halo, Forza, or Gears appear on other systems, but future smaller releases a la Cuphead, rare titles, Killer Instinct, etc. May one day come to Nintendo's hybrid console. So,
yeah, because you was freezing out parts. Microsoft and Nintendo have a really good relationship, and as odd as it may seem, I understand where Phil Spencer is coming from, and that would definitely be good for Microsoft. You know, I don't think they need Nintendo products on their system. I think they need to put just their products on a Nintendo system.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Microsoft's in a unique position where like they have IP that would appeal to people.
Mm-hmm.
that wouldn't necessarily sell consoles, right? But they still have their heavy hitters like Halo, Gears, Crackdown, Forza, maybe Sea of Thieves, we'll see, that like are the system sellers. And then they can use other IP such as maybe Banjo-Kazooie someday, maybe Conker, maybe a Killer Instinct, even Cuphead, because they publish Cuphead, so maybe they could publish it on Switch, because that's like a perfect Nintendo title. They have so many of these smaller IP that wouldn't necessarily move the needle in terms of console sales. They're good complementary titles to their blockbusters, right. But at the same time, you can spread that out. You can be like, okay, as long as you sign into an Xbox Live account, you can play. I mean, they could even add it to their Xbox Play Anywhere program, and maybe it's an app for your Switch that you play, sign into your Xbox Live account on your Switch, and then you're able to say, okay, I want to play Cuphead on the go today, so I'm going to download Cuphead to my Switch. And as long as you're signed into your Xbox Live account, because you already have to do that to play Minecraft,
right?
So you sign into your account, you can play Cuphead on the go. You can play Rare Replay on the go. You can play Sunset Overdrive. Maybe they start putting their Xbox Games Pass, like maybe they make a specific one for Switch. Maybe it's not all the titles, because you got to save something for your main box or your main platforms. But like maybe add an Xbox Game Pass type thing to Switch, and have like or
team up with Nintendo and be like, okay, if Nintendo do a form of Game Pass also, and Microsoft be like, hey, if we add our games, and receive whatever profit, if Nintendo be like, okay, $30 would not only give you guys our virtual console Game Pass, but you also get Microsoft's Game Pass for free.
Mm-hmm.
And double it up.
Or maybe it's like, maybe they bundle it. I mean, I don't know. This is very hypothetical, and who knows if anything like this could ever happen. But like, say Nintendo's thing is $20 a year. maybe like they add the Netflix like service to it, and it's like $25 a year, and then you're over here buying Xbox Game Pass for $14.99. Maybe Microsoft or Nintendo does a promotional deal on the Switch eShop where like, okay, instead of $25 a year and $15 a year over here, maybe you get both for $30 or $35, and it's like $5 or $10. Like, I don't know.
Or make it 50 or 60, and so that way, if you make it 50 or 60, not only do you get the Game Pass and Nintendo system, maybe that help you also become a Live Gold member, so you could get discounts on Xbox games because now they see you as a Gold member. So that's more money for Microsoft and some money for Nintendo. Like, I don't know how they'll do their business and stuff, but I'm like, if they're capable of doing that, and still, the Play Anywhere benefit, like, that's a really good value, and I just think that would be so sweet for them to do that. Because now you just gave the player 3 systems. So whether they own Xbox One, Switch, or PC, you're getting more bang for your buck. And and to me personally, that would outdo any reason of owning a PS4.
Yeah, and like the thing it does too is like it's like, I'm sure Microsoft, it has at least prototyped some sort of portable Xbox system. Like we know they have, but like recently with the success of the Switch, I'm sure somebody has revisited that idea. This idea, because like I don't really like I said, I don't really see them as competitors. I see the Switch as a great complement to my Xbox, right? It just works that way. It would save Microsoft the money of research and development of new hardware, and it would give us an expanded library on the Switch to the point where, like, it kind of makes sense, and it doesn't, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could get Banjo-Kazooie or Perfect Dark on Switch, because, like, here's the thing. Microsoft has their first-person shooter franchise in Halo. They're kind of still sitting on Perfect Dark. Now, for me, I think I've said this on Arsenal X. I think Perfect Dark would be really cool as a Metal Gear type game, where like it's similar to Metal Gear 5, where it's kind of an open world and you go infiltrate these bases to upgrade your gear and you go through this story. But if I know a lot of people want that still to be a first-person shooter franchise, what if Microsoft developed a arcade version of Perfect Dark where it's like a $30 or $40 download, or $30 or $40 game similar to Recore,
and put it on Switch,
and like you have the kind of like the $30 Xbox would probably be like $30, and then it would be like $40 on Switch, because cartridge tax 30, you got to make your money for Microsoft developing the game, whatever. But like then they add the cross-play functionality.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would be super cool to be like, okay, I'm playing on my Switch while my friend over there is playing on Xbox, and it'd be the same thing as, like, the Minecraft community. Well, not the same thing, but, like, you could play together, pretty much. It'd be, like, Rocket League. There'd be, like, this nice synergy of cool games you could pass between Xbox and Switch, and just, like, back and forth, Or what else is on Rare Replay? Like, Conquer, I guess, had some kind of weird multiplayer to it.
Like Cameo was, it was a 360 game, and that might not did well, but I'm like, that's a game straight up Nintendo's alley. Mm-hmm. And if Microsoft could rework that, and even if Nintendo could even step in and be like, hey, we could make this game better for you guys.
Yeah.
And they literally work together, because I think Nintendo will be welcoming more to Microsoft than they will to Sony.
Yeah. And like, I don't ever expect to see Halo or Gears or Forza. this would strictly be reserved for the smaller franchises that wouldn't necessarily move the needle for a lot of people. Like even like a side-scrolling Battletoads beat 'em up, like a $20.
Yes. Give me everything. Red. Sorry about that, everybody. Continue forth.
We interrupt this program so Ed can eat some food, order some food. Anyways, but like you take Battletoads is
yeah,
like you could make like a side-scrolling beat 'em up Battletoads arcade game that's like a $20 download, and it could be cross-play between Xbox and PlayStation, or there's so many different things you could do with that.
I think Nintendo would be like, hey, we've been throwing our IPs into some of your games, so
yeah, like
Microsoft,
like in Halo, like if this ever happens, like in Halo, maybe you give them like a Samus, like a bounty hunter armor set that looks like Samus, or
yes,
like some cool thing like that. That would be like a cool nod to say, hey, look, Nintendo's playing nice with Microsoft's playing nice with Nintendo. There's some crossover here. I think that'd be cool. Or like in whatever inevitable multiplayer Metroid Prime 4 has, like there's a Master Chief costume that you can wear. I think that'd be really like cool. I
think it would bring better unity to gamers, like the game community, and to Microsoft and Nintendo. I think Nintendo, if they're willing to do this and very be understanding, they're right there for both companies money to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and people, I feel like people will pay. I would pay it. If I paid $20 a year for Nintendo's Online, which I am, and Microsoft charged me $50 a year also to be able to do this on Switch.
What if they offered a bundle that was like a year of Xbox Game Pass? You could also like use this Game Pass on Switch, a year of Xbox Live, and a year of, like, I don't again, I don't know how this would be possible if like this is just a pipe dream type thing, but like $150 would get you a year of Nintendo Online, a year of Xbox Live, Game Pass on both systems, and crossplay functionality
with sales. Yeah, I'm down.
Plus, like, maybe an extra 10% off of, like, games with gold. You would still get your games with gold, and maybe like some sort of discount in the eShop too, like $150 for both systems. Dude,
and then double the Nintendo points.
Yeah,
literally double the Nintendo points. Yeah, I would make it $100. $100 a year.
I could probably see it go as high as like $120, because the Game Pass stuff is like what, $15 a month. So that would be like, you'd still be getting a pretty significant discount. But like, like, you know what I mean? Like a package deal that's like all this in one package, and maybe link your Xbox Live account to your Nintendo account, so like they could play nice with each other, and you wouldn't always have to log into your Xbox Live account when you play Minecraft or whatever other services they bring.
Right, and I think Nintendo can learn from Microsoft with their online functionality, their online service. Yeah. See, I think 120 would have to give you a little bit more. So I think $100 is more reasonable, because out of that 100, that 20 is for Nintendo. I think that 60 or and it might be cheaper if it knows that you're an Xbox Live member. You don't have to really worry about that $60. But $40 or $50 for like Game Pass or or if they do make it 60, let's say 60 for a year of Game Pass or 6 months or Game Pass or something like that. With your $20, so let's make it $80 in total. That would be a good value. If you're already a Live member. Now, it would be $120 to become a Live member. That goes on for your Xbox One or your Windows 10, or just for any of that. You still got the $20, and then you got all that other functionality. So
you know what else this would do for Microsoft particularly? It was like, this would give them a bigger presence in Japan, because of their presence in Japan sucks. To be perfectly honest, like it sucks. But like, if you partnered with Nintendo and got some of your some of your games on Switch, or I mean even 3DS to an extent, right? Like, they just put Minecraft on 3DS. Like, like what if you put like a side-scrolling like platformer on there, a Conquer side-scrolling platformer on there, or like a Blast Core type thing, or or even a Jet Force Gemini top-down shooter on 3DS. Like, I think that would be really cool too.
I literally was just thinking, importing, like Japanese import Microsoft games. If there's something to be made, maybe that could be an added service.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of that is like pipe dream ideas, but like, there are ways that this could work where some of the ideas we just had maybe aren't as out there as, some people might think by listening to this. I really think if Phil Spencer really wants to play nice with all the consoles, like we've seen that, and like I said, Xbox is more about the service and where you can play, and not about the box itself. Which, by the way, I really want an Xbox One X. I was looking at them earlier, and I'm just like, man, I really want one of those boxes, and I think I may get one of those like further down the road.
I do with mine. Unless my original goes out, or just like it ain't no good no more, then I'll upgrade to X or OX.
But like, some of these ideas aren't as far-fetched as you may think, just because like how great Nintendo has been with indie support and third parties. Like, in the interview with the Rocket League developers, Nintendo told them that they would help give them anything they needed to help with cross-platform support, with development costs, with whatever. Nintendo was very upfront about that. They were upfront about that with Minecraft and Microsoft. It's not as far of a reach as you might think, especially if Phil Spencer is coming out and saying they want to extend the reach of smaller IP on other platforms. So,
all right, and like you said, they could keep the Halo and Gears, and because I feel like Halo and Gears, I think those kind of games, even Forza, they don't fit on Nintendo platforms, because Nintendo already have their IPs that define them, and Microsoft also have their own IPs that define them. And like I feel like Gears, Halo, and Forza defines Microsoft, and so they don't need to be on each other consoles. Keep them away.
It's like you don't want to give all your IP up either, right? You want to you want to save some. Like, Halo 6 is going to move consoles. Gears 5 is going to sell consoles. Like, you don't want to give your console sellers up, but
Sharon Ori and the Blind Forest, definitive.
What a perfect Switch
edition.
game! What a perfect Switch game. So, yeah, it's a cool idea. I don't know how far this idea is going to get, but it's really fun to think about, and like not as far-fetched as some people might think. So
come through, Phil Spencer. Come through, Phil Spencer, and come through, Nintendo. Y'all get together. Y'all make this happen. Literally make this happen, because as crazy as it seems, this will just blow E3 out of the water. If Microsoft and Nintendo announced
what if
this?
Reggie and Phil walked out on stage at the same time, and like Phil was wearing like a Metroid shirt, and Reggie was wearing like a Halo pin or something?
Oh, Sony could just shut it down. Sony could just move. Sony would not get no discussion about them, only Sony fans. This would be the talk of the town. This would be like, oh, the E3 just went to another level. Like, I would probably have to take the day off of work. Be like, you know what? I can't come in. I have 8 podcasts to record because this is major. This is, of course, Nintendo Pow Block gonna be like, we predicted this a couple of months ago at 2017,
back in November.
Right. So I'm like, this would be the thing if it happened. Nintendo and Microsoft worked together to roll this out at E3. Now, what conference they would show it at?
Well, I think they would show it at Microsoft's because you want that stage presence for this kind of announcement. Yes. Especially because like it'd be more for the Play Anywhere style program than it would be for like a Nintendo's eShop, whatever.
This would have to be. I think this would have to be the last thing that Microsoft shows and does.
Oh, I think they open up with it. I think.
See, I'm not. No,
you want Reggie and Phil walking out on stage at the same time.
Yes, I do. But see, this is the thing about it, Corey. I'm not ready to have a heart attack that quick. Like, I'm not ready to just flip everything and just be like, wait. Because me and you will probably have to be watching we would have to watch this conference. And to be like, what in the world is going on with the internet? What is world is going on E3?
Dude, we wouldn't even be able to watch it because the internet would break. Like this, anything that was streaming either of these conferences would break. Like it would just it would break. So, but yeah, I think it's really cool to think about. Like I would really love to see games like Recore, Sunset Overdrive get a second life on another platform, I think those those games could very easily be like games that Microsoft could evaluate and be like, okay, we didn't make enough money on our own platform. What if we published it on the Switch and said, okay, $40 for each of them? Like, I think that would be cool. I really think that would be a cool idea. So maybe they'll just republish Rise of the Tomb Raider on Switch too. Yeah.
Corey, don't give my.
Okay.
Corey,
I'm sorry.
No, I will pre-order it the day they announce that.
I know.
Put it on Switch. Literally put it on Switch. I don't care if we're in the middle of the podcast. I would shut it down and walk out of the show and go to GameStop and pre-order this.
I'm sorry. Okay, so we're gonna move on to this next story. Man, I didn't think we were gonna talk about that long. So talking about other companies bringing stuff to Switch, Blizzard senior designer says don't rule out Blizzard on Switch. It doesn't take much imagination to picture how amazing Hearthstone, Diablo, or Overwatch would be on Switch. That large screen would be perfect for those games. And when playing in docked mode, you can use motion sensor, blah blah blah, whatever. While it doesn't appear that Blizzard is currently working on anything, Hearthstone senior game designer Peter Whalen feels it's something that shouldn't be discounted. Speaking at BlizzCon, he said, I don't know. I don't think anyone is working on ports, but I wouldn't rule it out either. Blizzard is always looking to move their games to new platforms. Talking about Hearthstone moving to tablets and phones, talking about Overwatch on console. Talking about Diablo 3 also moving to console. It made Hearthstone way more accessible for way more people, which is fantastic. If there are other consoles or platforms that are good enough for us, then it's absolutely something we'd explore in time. I think games like Diablo and Hearthstone are perfect fits for the Switch. Like, I think Diablo would be awesome on Switch.
Okay, so I was thinking.
I know you don't like games like Diablo.
Oh no!
I'm saying
I own Diablo 3 for PlayStation 3. I'm waiting for the price drop to get it on Xbox One. It's not that I don't like Diablo 3. I think Diablo 3 is fine. I think personally, for me, reading the comments on Nintendo Life with the story, folks did not care Folks was just like, oh yeah, I'll just play Hearthstone on the phone or tablet because you're just feeding us BS.
Yeah. I
And
I
and
just I
if,
just pulled the story up because like me and my friend Brian were just talking about how cool it would be to have Diablo on Switch.
yeah, I agree, and that's the game that you want to have, so that when people come to BlizzCon and you see all the switches, that just shows you that people bought the game for and supported this game because they want it. You know, Hearthstone playing it on the Switch, you would see a group of people playing it. Like
Yeah.
they would, I think they would not triple their business, but they will make more money than they ever thought of if they put it on Switch. Because if you see people walking around with more Switches instead of their tablet and phone and computers playing it, you know, it's as a consumer be like, okay, I don't have to use my phone data or whatever to play this game with other people. I literally could do local play with all you guys, and we could play this game.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I remember reading an interview about 6 months ago about Overwatch coming to Switch, like would it ever come to Switch or not? And they were saying it would be cool, but they are kind of like, they're kind of in a wait and see approach to putting stuff on Switch at the time, and they were like, with how the Switch isn't always connected online, they would have to do special game modes for the Switch, and it would almost be a different game than what's on Xbox and PS4 and PC. So I don't know. I just like the thought of some Blizzard games coming to Switch would be cool. I think Diablo and Hearthstone are two really great fits, but at the same time, Diablo 3 has been out for what, 5-6 years at this point. So I don't know. We'll see. But at least they're acknowledging that the platform is popular and successful, and that they're looking
because
at it.
everybody at Blizzard is bringing their Switch to work. They even did a story about that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing. Like, how you gonna talk about thinking about it, and you see your own employees bringing their Switch to work and playing it right in front of you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So the last story I want to get into here, there's plenty of retail opportunity for third parties on Switch, says indie developers Sold Out. Nintendo does not exclude you; it just asks you to up your game, is the quote. GameIndustry.biz interviewed Sold Out CEO Gary Williams, and he stated that there is a greater chance of success on Switch than many third-party publishers assume, which is what we've been talking about pretty much since the Switch came out.
Yes.
The quotes are, this first one is, there are many companies who have managed to earn really good revenues through Nintendo hardware sales to consumers. When I worked for Imagineer in Japan, we made some very welcome revenues making SimCity SNES. Many of us also did well on GameCube, Wii, and DS. The opportunities are there. Nintendo does not exclude you. It just asks you to up your game. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. Williams continues to say, he argues that finding the right game for the audience is key. The box retail model is a tough model on Switch, so you need to feel pretty certain your title works before entering the market. Luckily for us, the team is Team 17, is the developer under Sold Out. Team 17 Switch releases are tried, tested, and proven on Nintendo decks. Overcooked, for example, is a double BAFTA winning title and already more successful on Switch than any other format. Sold Out is not in the business of vanity publishing. If we were not certain we could generate profits, we would not enter the Switch box retail market. Nintendo simply delivers the platform for success, and it's up to the third-party publishers to decide how to best either get on board or watch out as the juggernaut leaves the depot. So he's pretty much saying, like, there's this fine line of hitting the right type of game for third party, which, look, this is what we've kind of been talking about, where, like, EA is judging their entire portfolio based on FIFA sales for Switch is not the right way to go. You need to find the game for the audience, which, you know, what is it, Fee that's coming out in the spring for Switch?
Yes.
It's probably a better title to judge your Nintendo sales off of, or like, you know, maybe put something else that's more appealing to everybody, like, I don't know, Star Wars, or, you know, add in.
And probably have a game that's available for that console a little bit more in stores. Just don't send 1 or 2 copies.
Yeah. And like, don't crap out like, as great as I think FIFA is on Switch, the more and more I talk to other people who are really into FIFA, the more and more I realize there are a ton of features missing from the Switch version. And it's like, don't just like send half of your game for the same price. So
right.
It's there's even another thing down here. It says if Switch continues at its current pace, it'll receive more space in a store than other consoles. Content is king, and retail will support whatever the customer is choosing to buy as long as there are significant revenues to deliver the process. While EA may be keeping its powder dry, we're certainly seeing a notable increase in the number of games getting physical releases on Switch from other companies. Do you think this is just the rest of the article now. So it seems like besides EA, a lot of companies, including Capcom, which we talked about earlier, and a ton of, you know, outside publishers publishing these indie games, like, you know, we talk about Nicholas a lot, who are developing, or not developing, but publishing a ton of indie games for physical releases. It's an interesting article to read that, like, yeah, Switch is underpowered, but you gotta put the work in. You gotta put the work in.
Right. And people have been saying that they don't worry about power. If your game is great to play and it's an enjoyable experience, that is what's going to matter.
Right.
You want word of mouth to go around about your game, not just you putting it out there and no one's speaking. Because if no one's talking about it, then that means your game is not great. Not saying it's not fitted for everybody, but if no one's talking about your game, that's a bad sign. You want people to talk about your game, and that talk will help motivate other people to go out and buy your product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's you know, the Switch is definitely underpowered compared to the PS4 and Xbox One. Nobody's denying that, but the fact of the matter is, like, look how many people have double dipped on 2K. Look how many people have bought in FIFA on Switch. Look how many people have, you know, Disgaea 5 on Switch, or Mario plus Rabbids, like a third-party crossover with Nintendo. There is money to be made. It's just like, some people are going to have to take risks. Some people are going to have to accept the fact that, you know, if you want to develop a game for Nintendo, you either cross over with them, or you put the work in to put the game you've designed on the system. You put into work, right. And okay, you're gonna have to spend a little bit more money, but that outcome is going to benefit you. You know, and not every game is for Switch, right? I mean, like, if Call of Duty is not a game I think that Switch fans are clamoring for, you know,
right?
Battlefield is not a game people are clamoring for, but, you know, something like Star Wars Battlefront, I think, has a more appealing, you know, Star Wars is more appealing to quote unquote casual gamers, that, like, I think maybe having a Star Wars title on Switch would be beneficial. You know, I think having Marvel game or Injustice 2, you know, Ed Boon's come out and said he's working with his team to maybe port Injustice 2 to Switch, which would be amazing.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. You know, fighting games aren't that super intensive graphically. I think Mortal Kombat and Injustice use Unreal.
I think so.
Am
Yeah.
I mistaken? I'll look that up. I might be wrong about that.
And the thing with Injustice 2 is that everybody would take that game on the go. Bam, there go your arcade game. That arcade style fighting is right back in people's hands. People are going to be bringing their pro controllers. It'll be a good way to practice and show off your skills at EVO or other fighting tournaments. Like, people will be willing to buy your game to practice. If I could practice at home and on the go, that's going to make my skill better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Injustice uses Unreal. So does Mortal Kombat.
So if people bought Injustice 2, if Injustice 2 ever came to EVO next year and that game was on Switch, you're going to see tons of people be playing the Switch version because they're going to want to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to transfer that skill to the big screen, to the crowd.
Right. Yeah, there's just so many games that could potentially find more life on the Switch than there's so many games that go out there and sell poorly on the other consoles because those other consoles are so flooded with third-party content, third-party games. Like, look at Quantum Break, for example. Like, a great game that was severely underplayed because there are so many third-person action games on these other platforms.
Right.
Where, that's another game may be beneficial for Microsoft to reevaluate if they're the plan we were talking about earlier. Like, what if they reevaluate that and say maybe there's a way to get some type of version of this game on Switch? Now, the video stuff, all the uncompressed audio, whatever, and I know they were in the show notes for Arsenal X, where that 4K asset pack is 178 gigs, but
that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But Batman, the Arkham games could find a home on there. There's just so many games that could find a new home on Switch that were severely underplayed.
Konami, I know you don't watch this show, but for you listeners out there who know about Konami, about Hudson, revive it. Revive those Hudson titles and bring literally to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And Konami will roll and bank with that.
Yeah. You look at other big games that use Unreal, like Kingdom Hearts 3 is a perfect RPG for the Switch, right? That would be a perfect game for Square Enix to say, look, we're supporting the Switch. Look at how Kingdom Hearts 3 runs on this thing. Final Fantasy VII Remake is another game, which, I don't care about, but a lot of other people care about. Mafia is another franchise, that would... I mean, I feel
Mafia 3 would sell super well on Switch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that game was severely underplayed, I feel like. And
yeah,
it uses Unreal. I don't really know what else to say except for the fact that again, there's so many games that were severely underplayed to the point where they could probably benefit. So I'm just trying to find some more games that use Unreal that would be that would work well on Switch.
Yes.
So I mean, a ton of indie games use Unreal. It's either Unreal or Unity for
Unity. Yeah.
Those, but
and whatever Square Enix used for their engine.
Square's using Unreal now. They've scrapped their proprietary engines and are using Unreal now.
Okay.
The only Square game, I think Rise of the Tomb Raider even uses Unreal, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think Final Fantasy 14 doesn't use Unreal.
No, that was the last game to use their Luminous engine.
Okay.
Tomb Raider. What is it called? Okay, so Rise of the Tomb Raider and one more unspecified title are the last games to use the Foundation engine, which is the engine that Tomb Raider runs on.
Okay.
Rise of the Tomb Raider engine is called Foundation Horizon. So yeah, there are games, but like I said, Tomb Raider would be an easy one to port because you would just port the 360 version over.
Right.
and which is essentially the same game except for like her hair doesn't wave the correct way or whatever. Like I saw the 360 version be played. My cousin got it. It looked great. Like it was a great looking 360 game. So I don't know. Like I said, there's a ton of games I think would benefit from being on the Switch, and yeah, the other games that Square is also supposedly putting on Switch are the Avengers and Guardians games that they're working on.
Nice.
So like, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are working on an Avengers game and a Guardians of the Galaxy game. Those are using Unreal. So like, and they're listed for Switch. So like, those are big AAA mega budget games, and
Right.
I mean, Bethesda's leading the way too with Doom and Wolfenstein and Skyrim. I mean, Doom and Wolfenstein 2 are the big ones. I don't really care about Skyrim. Skyrim's like, 40 years old at this point, probably run on your toaster. Skyrim is the new original Doom. It just runs on everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, but that's kind of all the news I have for today. We have a few Pow Block questions, but I think we're going to save them for next time because the next show is just going to be all about Xenoblade and Pow Block questions. So I'll save them for that.
Yes.
Anything else you want to talk about, Ed? I mean, we kind of ran around and talked about all kinds of things.
We are getting close to the end of the year, and I know everybody is scrambling to get their Game of the Year roundup list and everything. But I actually want to ask you guys, and you can email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com, correct?
Yep.
Or Pow Block. Or is
Nintendo
it
Pow Block.
nintendopowblock@gmail.com. I want you guys to give me your 10 eShop games. I want to know what list of eShop games that you guys have brought it on Switch and which one you would definitely recommend. I think it'd be a good discussion.
Are we gonna have a Switch Game of the Year discussion for Pow Block? Because I know we're doing the big NGR show at the end of the year. Do you want to have one for Pow Block or?
I think we probably should have a podcast buyer's guide in a sense.
Okay.
Because we know that if we just talked about Breath of the Wild throughout the whole year for Power Block, so we both agree that's Nintendo's Game of the Year. Like, I'm sorry, Mario Odyssey, as great as you are, you don't come close to what Breath of the Wild has done. Like, come on now.
That surprises me that you say that because you're like a really big Mario fan.
Oh, I'm a big Mario fan. But if we go back to past shows, Corey, we got off of a topic and spent 45 minutes talking about Breath of the Wild for as an answer to a question that we didn't really mean to do it that way. But we've not saying that we talk Breath of the Wild to death, but I think it kind of represents the goodness of 2017. And as great as Mario, like I said, as great as Mario Odyssey is, Breath of the Wild has done more.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think if Mario Odyssey got pushed back to 2018, that would be the game that we'll be discussing more. But we got two great games. We literally could make a top 10 and be like, well, we already know what Game of the Year is. That's Zelda. But I think a sweet podcast buyer's guide would be better to help people understand. Like, if you're getting a Switch for Christmas or you got a Switch for Christmas, check out our podcast and check out these games and what we think about it. And maybe that would help persuade you to pick them up with your Christmas money and gift cards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. So, man, dude, I'm so excited to I'm gonna make my Switch list because I still think ARMS is one of the best Switch games this year too. Because I don't want anybody to discount ARMS just because it's this weird motion controlled fighting game. I generally think that it's one of Nintendo's best IP in years. I like ARMS more than Splatoon, to be honest with you.
it's so weird that each game that Nintendo released has done something. Like, Arms is kind of, the best new IP. Mario plus Rabbids, as jokingly as people made it and thought that this should fail, it surprised people and sold very well. Like, it made the game designer cry. Like, and it proved to Ubisoft that you guys did a great job and we want more games for you guys. Mm-hmm. Like, it just feel like that. Even Pokken DX did something for people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sold more than it sold more than what I wanted to say Street Fighter 5, but it sold more than Marvel Infinite and what was Tekken 7 combined.
Yeah.
Pokken tournament did. I'm just like that game's already been out and like it sold more than these two incredible one's incredible, one's okay, I guess.
Right.
But
and the third party and the indie games that came on cartridges, people are buying.
Yeah.
And still buying. And that's good. So like we have a good list to go with people Switch games.
Yeah.
And even for the 3DS. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be better.
Okay. We're still going to talk about. I want to talk about Zelda too, though. On that same episode, I want to say like maybe like a week after Xenoblade comes out, we'll do that. Maybe Xenoblade what comes out on Friday, so Monday, Friday, maybe. I don't know. We'll talk about it. But like, I want to do it like at least a week after Xenoblade comes out, so we have time to settle into Xenoblade and kind of talk about it and see if it deserves a spot on that list, which I'm pretty sure it will. But I don't like to assume things.
So let's set it for December 11th.
Okay.
That's going to be 2 weeks after Xenoblade. But in case of anything happens, like in case if we get a direct or anything in December.
Yeah.
So that episode will be for December 12th. So we'll probably have questions that you guys want to ask us about that. So I'll mark it down in my calendar for that recording. Okay. Is it going to be a Xenoblade and Breath of the Wild discussion, or is it going to be just...
No, because I think we'll be talking about Xenoblade like right when it comes out. I think we'll talk about it that day, and then like we'll talk about Xenoblade and how we're really enjoying it, and then we'll talk about like why Breath of the Wild is kind of our game of the year.
Okay.
And then the following episode we'll do the buyer's guide.
Okay. Yes.
So, yeah.
Sweet.
Man, planning on the fly. That's how we do it.
Yes.
Here on Pow Block.
Yes.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening to Nintendo Pow Block. Remember, you can email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatBridgeCode, and check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud, and Arsenal X and everything else on ngrradio.com.
Yeah. You can find me at CorinHD on Instagram and Twitch. You can find me on NGR Radio, Arsenal X, and everything else on NGR Radio. Check out our website, ngrradio.com. Like, subscribe, and share to our YouTube page. Rate us on iTunes and whatever podcast service you're listening to us on. And until next week, we love you.
Bye, everybody. Woo!